There's a thought sitting in the back of your head right now. You've probably had it every single time you sit down to race. Most likely, it goes something like, I should be making something new, not another version of what everyone else already has, something that's actually mine, And then you open your editor, and then you end up reaching for the same bar layout, the same modules, the same patterns that you've done a dozen times, because it's comfortable and it works. And I honestly don't even blame you, because I've been in this same exact position myself so many times, I've lost count. And for me, and most likely for you as well, the thought just goes quiet again. Well, fuck it. Until next time, you think to yourself. Well, that thought is the most important one that you have as a racer. And today I want to talk about why you keep ignoring it and why actually you should not ignore it and actually take action. Why now is the single, best moment in Hyprland's history to finally act on it, and the exact method that makes acting on it not just possible, but really fucking addictive. So, what's going on, everyone? I'm Sane, and today we're talking about the new way of racing Hyprland in the age of Quickshell. So this one's not just a tutorial, right? It's a shift in how you approach this whole thing. And to be honest, it's more valuable than a tutorial because here I'm actually teaching you the exact way that I think. Now, the way that I think is what's gotten me to this point where I'm making stuff like custom theme switchers and wallpaper switchers and all the fancy stuff that you're seeing in my shell right now, right? So the way that I think is honestly more important than any tutorial that I could give you. So you really want to make sure to pay attention if you want the exact kind of results that I have, right? Okay, so basically, with that said, okay, I want you to know that there's a way to rice that leaves you a little empty at the end. And there's also a way that leaves you genuinely fulfilled. And I've done both. And the difference between them has a name, which I found out by doing both and a lot more. So let's get into it. Here's the uncomfortable truth, okay? You can rice the same way forever. You can grab a popular config, you can swap the colors, you can tweak a couple of gaps, and then you can call it done. That's fine, fantastic, it works. And your desktop looks nice. Nobody is going to arrest you for it. But it doesn't scratch the itch that we have. And you know exactly the itch that I'm talking about, the one that wants to build something truly great, something that you look at and think, I made that, like I fucking made this, and there's nothing else quite like it. This island, this is that thing for me. This is the thing that scratched the itch. But right now, even this, is not going to scratch it forever. I'm eventually going to have to make something else. Maybe expand this, maybe come up with a completely different concept, but yeah, it's basically it. Something that other people see and then go, wait, how the hell did you do that? And that itch doesn't get satisfied by doing the same thing over and over. It only gets satisfied by one thing, and that is innovation. So coming up with new stuff, and actually not just a remix of what's on the front page of Unix porn. And most people never get there, not because they're not capable, right? They definitely are. They've got the skills even, most people do. But because innovation feels like this vague, intimidating thing that other smarter people do. Well, it isn't, trust me. It's a skill with a method, and I'm going to give you the method. But first, why now? So here's what changed, okay? And it's the whole reason this video exists. Innovation in racing used to be brutal to actually pull off. So back in the EU days, if you had some wild idea for a custom widget or an interface that nobody else built before, the gap between the idea and the working thing was enormous. So you were writing walls and walls of shell scripts, duct taping a dozen separate tools together, and then fighting to get them to share the state, praying that the whole house of cards didn't fucking collapse when one script broke. The idea was the easy part, right? The implementation is where dreams went to die. Quickshell changed that completely because it's a unified, real unified framework. So actual QML, one language, one system, everything talking to everything natively, which means that the distance between I have an idea and the idea is running on my screen just collapsed. That reactive, component-based structure means that you can prototype something weird in an afternoon that would have taken you a week of shell scripting hell before. The friction that used to kill innovation is mostly gone. Think about what that means. The single biggest barrier to building new things, the sheer pain of implementation, just got dramatically lower, which means the bottleneck isn't your tools anymore, it's your ideas. And that is a fantastic problem to have because ideas are trainable. So how do you actually generate new ideas instead of remixing old ones? Here's the best method that I found so far, okay? And this is from like fucking 4 years of racing Hyprland, so it's definitely something that works. And it's not some woo-woo creativity hack either. It's the most powerful thinking tool there is. So you break things down to the simplest, most fundamental atomic level, and then you build back up from there. The technical term is called first principles thinking, and it's not a coincidence that it's the exact tool that Elon used to turn Tesla into what it is today. So here's the story, okay? Pretty simple, because this is actually what makes it click. So when Elon started, everyone in the industry said the same thing. So battery packs, they cost like, what, $600 per kilowatt hour? That's just what they cost, and then that's what they'll always cost. So everyone accepted it as a fixed wall of reality, and Elon basically said, well, fuck that, that's a dumb way to think. So instead, he asked a different question. What is a battery pack actually made of? And he broke it all the way down to its atoms. So cobalt, nickel, aluminum, carbon, some polymers, and a steel can. Then he asked what those raw materials would cost if you just bought them straight off the metal exchange. The answer came out to around $80 per kilowatt hour. Not 600, but 80. Sit with that for a second, okay? The entire industry just accepted a number that was almost 8 times higher than what the physics actually required, purely because that's just how it was always done, right? The gap wasn't reality, it was convention that everyone mistook for reality. That is first principles thinking. You take the thing that everyone accepts as fixed, you smash it down to its fundamental truths, and then you rebuild from those truths. And you almost always discover that basically, most of what everyone knows is just bullshit and not law. Now point that exact lens at your desktop because your rice is full of $600 batteries, conventions that everyone accepts without question. Take a status bar, for example, okay? With this dynamic island, I fucking shattered the hell out of that stereotype, but let's just continue anyway, okay? So, everyone knows what a bar is. It's a horizontal strip with workspaces on the left, clock in the middle, system stuff on the right. That's a $600. Now break it into atoms. What is a bar actually for? So at the most fundamental level, it exists to surface the handful of things that you need at a glance and then give you quick access to a few controls. There you go. That's pretty much it. That's the $80. That's the only real requirement. Everything else, the horizontal strip, the position, the 3-section layout, is convention and not law. And the second you see that, the walls fall down. Does the information have to live in a strip? No. It could live in a corner that expands, it could live in a corner that expands when you hover on it. Or it can even be in the shape of an island that you're seeing right over here. Or maybe it could even be someone with a keybind and then vanish when you're done. If you wanted to, you could even make it morph depending on what you're doing. You're not decorating somebody else's bar anymore. What you're doing is designing from the ground up, from what the thing is actually for. And whatever you build is going to be genuinely yours because you didn't inherit anyone's assumptions to get there. That's the whole method. Pick any piece of your setup, ask what it fundamentally does, strip away every convention that isn't load-bearing, and that's it. You're rebuilding from the truth. And Quickshell is what lets you actually build whatever that thinking produces instead of it dying as a note in your head. Now, first principles thinking gives you the ideas, but you still need the skill to build them, and Quickshell has a real learning curve. That's exactly what I built Accelerator Max for. It takes you from zero QML knowledge to building a full hardware accelerated desktop shell from scratch. So when you have one of these ideas, you can actually make it real instead of getting stuck on the implementation. It's the only complete Quickshell program made for regular racers instead of software engineers. And if you want it, you can go ahead, click the second link in the description right now and check out the program. Now, before I continue, you need to actually see why I'm suggesting this program to you in the first place. Because if we take a look at Quickshell's documentation, okay? Quickshell.org. Let me just show you the documentation quickly so you have an idea of what you're going to get yourself into if you're actually going to be innovating. So you see all of this fucking shit over here. Okay? Quickshell, all of the types, all of this, and then all of the Bluetooth types if you're going to use that for the control center, which you're going to most likely, then all the Hyprland types if you're going to have a workspace thing, then all the networking stuff, which is also going to be inside of the control center. Basically, all of this stuff, it took me like, a solid 4 to 5 months of around 8 something hours of deep work in order to familiarize myself with all of these freaking, modules and all this documentation, by the way. And I'm still not done. Obviously, there's some stuff that I still have not gotten fully into because I just never happened to use it for my shell, but you get the idea. That just goes to show you just how vast the documentation is and how even like 4 to 5 months of 8 hours of deep work a day is not going to be enough to get you through all of this documentation. Now, that's with me spending so much time really fucking locked in, okay? Now, chances are you're not going to have that much time, which means that you're going to want someone to actually distill all of this into something that you can actually use, which is exactly what Accelerator Max is. So if I just show you right now, as you can see, I've basically taken all of the stuff that you're seeing over here, all of this documentation, along with all of the important documentation from the Quick types, okay, the Quick QML types, and if you take a look at these fucking types, it's like, my god, the amount of sheer documentation that you have here, I guarantee you, not even the most professional of software developers knows every single thing that's over here. It's just that freaking massive, right? And basically, I've gone through you know what, I can't even lie and tell you that I've gone through all of it because I have not. Maybe something like, around 50%, maybe even less than that, I've gone through this, just picked out the most essential stuff and then put it inside of the program for you. And I've also given you access to Dynamite, which is basically this dynamic island style thing that you're seeing over here so that you have something to use whilst you are actually learning how to make your own shell, right? So in this one, I cover setup and the reload loop, which is basically going to be, how to actually set up your environment and then how to basically familiarize yourself with the mental model that you're going to be using when making your shell. And here is the enough QML that you need to get up to speed without having to, read through all of this shit and then basically want to kill yourself. And then lastly, we have reading, errors, and debugging. Now we have more modules coming after this, But right now we have these three. And the reason why you don't have the entire list of the modules so far is because of something that I like to call the steady state learning protocol. So basically, I'm releasing the modules one at a time so that you don't get overwhelmed, because okay. So in the 4 to 5 months that it took me to, finally be able to make something like this, okay, the amount of times I quit is just, it's astronomical. I basically quit every single day because I just couldn't take it anymore. But it took like proper discipline to get back and then actually work through all of this stuff, searching the web for lots of references and all these Quickshell examples and whatnot, actually reading through them, understanding them, making sense of them in order to make the thing that you're seeing over here. And all of that blood, sweat, and tears has gone into this program here. So if you want to skip all the pain and effort, skip 4 and 5 months of breaking your head when it comes to this documentation, you can go ahead, check out the program and check it out. The amount of time, sheer effort, and blood, sweat, tears, money, everything that is going to save you is way more than what the product is actually worth. So if you want to save yourself and you want to get access to this program right over here, you can go ahead, click the second link in the description and check out the program. The first one, the Hyper Accelerator program, that's for getting your Hyprland fundamentals right. So if you don't have your fundamentals, like your decorations and your animations and whatnot, it just makes dealing with Quickshell a little bit harder. Actually more hard than it's supposed to be. So I would first recommend that you actually get your Hyprland setup dialed in first, making sure that you know the basics before you jump right into it. So you can go ahead, check out those both programs. And yeah, that's it for the thing. Okay. So after that, okay, now the part that actually matters when it comes to first principles thinking. Here's the thing that I really want you to hear, okay? Because it's bigger than better looking races. When you start building in this way, from first principles, making things that are actually yours, something changes in how it feels. Racing stops being this loop of copying and tweaking and vaguely wishing that it were more. It becomes what we call creation, what I call creation, right? And creation is fulfilling in a way that consumption never is. You end up happier with the time that you pour into this, because you're not just rearranging someone else's furniture. What you're doing is building something that's actually a genuine expression of your own taste and your own thinking. And honestly, that's the entire fucking point, right? Think about it. What is the use of spending hour after hour racing only to end up using a setup built out of parts that you don't even fucking like? Like, what's the point in that? That's suffering with extra steps. If you really wanted to suffer that much, you can go ahead and do the Iron Man or fucking whatever else that David Goggins used to do, There's other ways to suffer instead of doing the way that that we're talking about right here, right? Yeah. And the whole reason that we actually do this, the reason why any of us fell down this rabbit hole, is to build an environment that we love living in. And you don't get there by doing what everyone else does. You get there by thinking for yourself and building something true. So here's what I want you to do. Next time that thought shows up in the back of your head, the one telling you to make something new, don't let it go quiet. I've done that so many times, and every single time I feel like I've just filled myself with regret every time I let it go. Now, eventually I got sick of it, and then I made the thing that you're seeing here, so I guess it paid off eventually. But yeah, just don't let it go quiet. Pick one piece of your setup, break it down to its atoms, ask what it's really for, and then build it back up your way. You've got the method now, and with Quickshell, you finally got the tools to make whatever it produces actually real. Your races will be better, but more than that, you'll actually be fulfilled by the time that you spend on them, which is the only thing that ever mattered here. And if you're fired up to build, but then know that your Quickshell skills aren't there yet, the fastest path to fixing that is Hyper Accelerator Max. From 0 to a complete shell that you understand, and you can go ahead, click the second link in the description right now and check it out. You can also check out the main program if you don't have your Hyprland setup dialed in just yet. That's pretty much it. If you liked the video, hit like. If you loved it and want to see more like this in your feed, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Stay racing. Mwah.